Welcome back, everyone. Today's grammar lesson that we have for you today is going to be on the progressive tense. Actually, today and a couple of our next lessons, we're going to be continuing on with the progressive tense, but today's focus, we're going to be talking about the past progressive tense. Now, hopefully by now you already know what the simple tenses are. So the simple past, the simple present, the simple future. Because the past, present, and future, these are the three basic ideas that we use when we talk about time. But when we have the simple past tense is important because it tells you if the verb is regular or irregular. And that's really important if we're going to be talking about past participles in the perfect tense. So regular verbs have ed, irregular verbs do not have ed. If that's all over your head, that's okay, because today you don't have to worry about regular or irregular verbs. Today, your verbs are all going to end in ing. Well, not all, but your main verb is going to be verb ing. But this is important. All progressive tenses have the same pattern that is being shared. All right? There's a few extra words here and there, but the parts that are the same throughout the past, present, and future, all of the progressive tenses have be plus verb ing. You need to have the be verb though, because just verbing. I have a lot of students, they'll say like, running is fun, and they think that running is the verb. No, running there is a noun, it's a gerund, it's not a verb unless you have the be verb. Is running, right, together, like that could be, but is running fun, that's different as well. But you need to have the be verb before the verb ing for that to be a verb usage. So when you're writing a sentence, if you do one of our quizzes, you have to make sure that your sentence has the be verb ing. If you just have the verb ing, we're going to mark it wrong, probably. So be careful with that. Also, subject-verb agreement is important when we're talking about this because every time you have the be verb, you need to have subject-verb agreement. Simply, what is subject-verb agreement? If you have a singular noun, you need to have a singular verb. If you have a plural noun, you need to have a plural verb. We're not talking pronouns, we're talking more like proper nouns here. So if you have a singular noun, singular nouns do not end with an S, but a singular verb, play, plays, sleep, sleeps, right? So those singular verbs have an S at the end. A plural proper noun, right, like dogs, right, that has an S at the end, but a plural verb has no S. So the S is somewhere, just not both, okay? And so when we're talking about the be verb, there are two past tense forms of the be verb. We have was and we have were. So which one is singular, which one is plural? Well, we're going to be looking at some examples, but first, just quickly, we is plural, were is your plural form, past tense of the be verb. Was, which is over here, was is for singular nouns. Okay, so make sure that if you have a singular noun, you're using was. You have a plural noun, you're using were. Okay? So, what is the progressive tense? All progressive tenses, what we are doing is that we are stretching out time. We have moments in time that we're trying to explain by kind of expanding upon it a little bit. So it shows a continuing action over time. The past progressive tense is something that was happening, be verb ing, something that was happening, or something that was going on over a period of time, not an instant. Very few things happen in an instant. I'm having a hard time thinking of things that actually happen in an instant. But how do we use this? Basically, this is the main idea you need to know. But if you want to try to use this in your writing or speaking, you can think about these. The first one is an overlapping action. An overlapping action means that you have two things, they're kind of happening at the same time, but they're almost like right when one's about to end, the other one begins. So they're not just touching, they're kind of overlapping, okay? So overlapping, you use it this way. You want to start with a progressive past sentence and then add when plus a simple past sentence, okay? When is a dependent clause marker. We just finished our complex sentences. If you don't know that, go back to our old videos and of course watch the complex sentence lesson 2. So, look at this sentence. We were playing at the park. For some reason that K is a little bit messy. Okay? So we were playing at the park. You could put a period here. Be verb plus verb ing, past tense, subject verb agreement. This, you could put a punctuation, and this is your past progressive tense sentence. But you could add when, we were playing at the park, when, DCM, I lost my wallet. So these things happened around the same time. They are overlapping. That's one way you could use this. Another way you could use it is if you're going to zoom in or to magnify. So zooming in means that you're just taking something and looking closer at it, okay? So we use it with the past simple tense, and then we're going to take the past simple and kind of stretch it out more, look inside and see what happened. So for example, John walked down the street. That is your simple past sentence. John walked, ed, regular verb, down the street. While, another DCM, right? While he was walking, what was he doing? While he was walking, people were running and screaming because of a zombie attack. But they're slow zombies. You can just walk away from them, unless they're fast zombies, which are even scarier. But when you have this sentence, simple past, he was walking, be verb ing, people were running, be verb, people is plural, so were, running and screaming. We have two, right? You don't need to just have one be verb, verb ing. You can actually have many of them together, but you don't need to have people were running and were screaming, right? You don't need to put the be verb twice. Just use once because we're linking them together, okay? You could even say they were running, screaming, and dying, right? And crying. Well, you can't say and. So running, screaming, dying, crying. Crying, dying, right? If you want to put it that way. So you could just have many verb ings, not just one, if you want to play around with it, okay? So hopefully this explains a little bit about the past progressive tense. If you still don't understand, just remember be plus verb ing. These are some ways to use it. If you still don't remember, watch the video again. But right now, let's review. Intro to past progressive tense. What pattern do all progressive tenses share? All progressive tenses include be plus verb ing. What is subject-verb agreement? If you have a singular noun, you need to use a singular verb. Ends in s or es. If you have a plural noun, you need to use a plural verb. Does not end in s or es. What are the two past tense forms of the be verb, which is singular and plural? Was and were are the two past tense forms of the be verb. Was is singular and were is plural. What do all progressive tenses do? All progressive tenses show a continuing action. It is stretching out the idea of time. What does the past progressive tense do? It shows something that was happening or going on over time. How do we use the past progressive tense to show overlapping action? We use it with when plus past simple tense. How do we use the past progressive tense to show zooming in? We use a past simple tense sentence and magnify it using the past progressive tense.